Hey guys, what's up? Shyvadi. Just wanted to give you guys some tips and tricks that I know about for Shyvana. Some things that most people probably don't think about or know about exactly. Sort of the small things that have added up that I've learned. So one of the things is very straightforward, but it's all about when you're in human form, actually. Obviously, you can't do much. When you're in human form, you can throw your E, but that's about it. Especially if you're playing AP Shyvana, which is what I do, right? So if you got something going like this, obviously you're not going to be doing much damage with your Q. However, if they are low enough HP and you're ganking bot lane, for example, what you want to do is essentially have a way in, or have a way to kill them reliably. And the way you do that is doesn't matter which side you're on, but what you want to do is you want to line them up and get about this close at the very least. So you can get that close by running at them, obviously. And the way it's like a miniature fast combo, but essentially you're pressing E and then you're flashing and then you're pressing Q almost immediately after. So it looks something like this, right? Which is pretty straightforward, but the point is that you're casting your Q on them immediately so that even if they flash, the Q will still do damage. And the point of flashing towards them is so that you can hit your E always. Of course you can do something like this and then flash Q as well, which looks a little bit better. But what I've found is to have a more effective execute, you're gonna want to do something like that or that. You sort of get the point. Obviously, don't cancel your Q, but it takes a bit of practice. Even I don't always do it perfectly, but as long as you're able to get a Q off. See, I'm still canceling there, but it's a great way to execute people who are running away. The next thing I'm going to show you is what I like to call the quick draw dragon R, or quick draw ultimate. Essentially how it works is you want to cast ultimate as short range as possible, because the shorter range that you cast it, the faster that you can use actions again. So for example, like this is a lot quicker to use actions than it would be to use it at max range. So one of the things that you could do is, especially if you're being chased, a lot of people don't expect this to happen. But if you, I'll post a clip of it somewhere here, but essentially if you're being chased by one or even more than one person, what you want to do is essentially double back and then cast your ultimate towards them, but more like where they're going, where their feet are. And in that way you're landing exactly, you're not wasting any time going like this, right? Where you're pushing them back. The pushback effect for Shyvana R is completely useless in practice. In theory, it's like, oh wow, you're gonna be able to pull enemies toward you, but what's the point if they can act before you, right? So essentially what you want to do is, I guess it works even better if you're close, right? So like that, and you can act almost instantly, which is very, very good for executing people. The The third tip that I'll mention is casting your E with indicator. Obviously you can be much more precise when you're doing this. And see I missed there, but you can use E at max range like that, like, especially if you are trying to see if you can snipe someone from a bush or execute a minion is probably the more likely scenario. Like something like that, like this, this wouldn't hit actually. This, not quite, but this might hit. Not quite either. Oh man. Okay, there you go. Obviously, if you're good enough, you won't actually need the indicator to cast max range. That. But I do recommend using the indicator, maybe not for human form, but for dragon form for sure. Because the dragon form is a sort of an unpredictable AoE effect, right? So it's slightly predictable, but you won't know the exact extent. Like I know that this would hit, I know that this would hit. Oh, okay, that wouldn't hit. That would hit. But if you want to be precise, obviously you throw it, and the absolute best way to utilize this indicator is when you're approaching a fight. So, for example, on Dragon Pit, there are a bunch of dummies in the Dragon Pit. I will this. Best way you want to approach this, or even you can snipe them over the wall sometimes, is you do something like this, and you can hit both of them. But obviously, it's hard to do that with just a cast, right? Like you could be trying to cast. Now that one hit, but like, again, I'm kind of used to the circle. But even if I want to be more precise, I always use indicator.